My parents tried to take away my inheritance from my sister, but instead of going to court, I chose silence because I had a secret that could change the entire story. My parents tried to take away my inheritance from my sister, but instead of going to court, I chose silence because I had a secret that could change the entire story. When I look back at that time now, I don't feel anger. I only feel a quiet realization that sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones we expect love from the most. I didn't create a scene or accuse anyone, because I knew some truths don't reveal themselves immediately. They simply need the right moment. My parents had always considered my younger sister, Emily, more important than me. It wasn't something new, I had felt it since childhood. But I never complained. I was the older daughter, so I was always expected to be the understanding one. Whenever a problem came up, I heard the same words: "You're older. You'll understand." And I did. I built my own life. After college, I worked hard, built a career, got married, and created a home of my own. I never asked my parents for anything because I believed love and respect were not things you should have to beg for. But everything changed after my father passed away. After his death, we learned that he had left behind a property and some investments. The property was my childhood home, the place filled with years of memories. I thought my parents would finally be fair. I thought maybe for the first time they would see both daughters equally. I was wrong. One evening, my mother called me and said, "We've decided to put the house in Emily's name. She needs it more." I stayed quiet. I asked, "What about my share?" There was a long pause before she replied, "You're strong. You don't need anything. Emily needs support." Those words were not new to me, but this time they felt different. This wasn't just about a house. It was my father's final gift, his last connection to my childhood. More than that, it was the painful realization that maybe my parents never truly saw me as someone who needed care. They saw me as the person who would always handle everything on her own. I considered taking the matter to court. My lawyer told me I had a strong case. The documents were clear and the law was on my side. But I didn't act immediately. I chose silence. Everyone thought I had accepted defeat. My sister thought the same. Emily even told the family, "I'm sorry she's having such a hard time accepting this." I didn't argue. I simply listened. Because I had a secret. That secret was an old file I found while cleaning my father's office. Inside were documents, old letters, and a handwritten note my father had written during the final year of his life. I read it several times. In that note, my father clearly stated that he wanted the property divided equally between both of his daughters. He also wrote that he worried family pressure might change his wishes, so he had kept the original documents in a safe place. That paper was not just a document. It was my father's final voice. Even then, I didn't rush. For the first time in my life, I understood that not every battle needs to be fought immediately. Some battles simply require patience until the right moment arrives. I remembered our Thanksgiving dinners, where we all sat together smiling as if everything was perfect. I played along like everyone else. During PTA meetings, I tried to be the perfect mother. Our Sunday Costco trips were once a family tradition. But deep down, I knew some relationships were being held together only by habit. I thought about my 401k and retirement plans, things I once believed represented my future security. Then I realized true security was not found in money or possessions. It came from trusting myself and standing by my decisions. A few weeks later, my family arranged a meeting. They assumed I would finally give in. My mother said, "We just want to avoid problems in the family." I looked at her and calmly replied, "That's what I want too. That's why I came here with the truth." I placed the documents on the table. The room became silent. My sister looked through the papers, then looked at me. For the first time, I saw uncertainty on her face. My mother's hands began to shake. I didn't try to embarrass anyone. I didn't bring up old wounds or childhood memories. I simply presented the truth. My father's wishes were clear. A few days later, everything was settled. The property was divided fairly, and my family finally understood something important. A person who stays silent is not always a person who is weak. But the biggest change did not happen around me. It happened inside me. I forgave my sister, but I promised myself I would never ignore my own worth again. I learned that love does not mean sacrificing your dignity. Today I live my life peacefully. I still have a relationship with my family, but I have boundaries now. I am no longer the woman who stays quiet and accepts everything just to keep others comfortable. I learned that sometimes patience is the strongest response, and sometimes the greatest victory is not defeating someone else. It is finding yourself again. When I look back today, I don't feel regret. I only feel peace because I didn't create chaos, I didn't seek revenge, I simply allowed the truth to arrive in its own time. And in the end, the truth always finds its way. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this emotional story. If this story touched your heart and reminded you about patience, self-respect, and the power of truth, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Your support means a lot and encourages us to share more meaningful stories with you.